Hey, good morning everybody. I was tagged recently by Nicole Hikes a Lot. If you don't know her, I'll put her name right across the screen here. She has a great YouTube channel with great content. She goes to some really great places. Anyway, I was tagged and the category is what is my favorite all-time backpacking trip? Well, that's pretty hard I've done quite a few of them, and I met so many people. This past year, I've developed a family of some great friends, and we went on some really good trips. It's always good now to look back at some of your favorite trips, and this is my favorite trip. And now I put it in a category of epic views, logistics of getting there, the people I met, the weather, the place. Everything went into this one category, and what did I choose? It was the Sierra Nevadas. Welcome to California. And specifically the northbound section of the John Muir Trail. I could not get, and I applied and I looked every day to see if I would get into the lottery, and I didn't, and got a northbound permit, which is about an additional 40 miles to the 240. I don't hold me to, I think it's 280 or something. Starting off on the PCT at Horseshoe Meadows and heading north. So that was my plan. This was a solo trip. A lot of anxiety was put into it, a lot of planning, everything you can imagine somebody at my age getting out there and going somewhere where we've never been before and do this trip. So I'm going to do a little condensed version of this. I'll throw a card up to the playlist to this whole trip that I did. So sit back, enjoy it, and I hope you get out there soon and do some backpacking, and thanks for watching, and I'll get back to you. The permitting and the application was easy, but we had to fill out at home and then bring it to the ranger station. I actually did a campfire permit also, which I never used because they didn't allow them over 10,000 feet. And as far as fishing license, they didn't do 10 days, so I had to do a full year at 130,000. Resupplies went to the Muir Ranch and also to Williamson Base Camp. The trip out to Mammoth Lakes, California was via Orlando to Seattle, LAX, and then actually to Mammoth Lakes, Alaskan Airlines, where I spent the night in Mammoth Lakes, ended up getting my carbohydrates and my one last good meal prior to hitting the trail. And then spent the night, next morning went to the ranger station, picked up my permit, got the shuttle, and then I headed up to Horseshoe Meadows at 10,000 feet. I'm up at 10,000 feet, getting ready to get on Cottonwood Lakes Trailhead. Golden Trout Wilderness, Inyo National Forest. Couldn't believe how beautiful this place was. The elevation was getting me to a little bit, and I did have some anxiety because I knew I got to find my camp spot. Didn't know where I was, but I was just amazed by the beauty of this place, and my God, it was so awesome. But I found a campsite and just spent the night there, and I actually got about 7 or 8 miles in. Beautiful place all to myself, with the anxiety of getting up in the morning knowing I had to do New Army Pass. It was strange getting up that next morning and just seeing the beauty of it all, but New Army Pass, here I come. Well, I made it over New Army Pass. It took me 1 hour. It was a bitch, but it took my time and felt the elevation. I think I'm about 12,000. You can hear it in my voice that the elevation was getting to me, but I was feeling more confident at this point. I get to the top of this New Army Pass, and I looked down, I just saw the beauty of the greenery below and the trees, knowing that I'm going down there somewhere and be spending the night there. This is campsite night number 2, end of the day. I think I did about 10 to 12 miles today. They were tough ones though, because I had to go over New Army Pass. So it was, in my opinion, a good day.
I'm at Rock Creek.
I left Rock Creek that following morning going to the junction of Crabtree Meadows and Whitney Junction. I didn't go up Mount Whitney for own personal reasons, but I did see tons of wildlife, beautiful scenery, up and down many passes and many valleys. The place is just awesome, and I could not get over it. I actually ran into a group of people who were traveling by llama, and they were really cool. I didn't see anybody backpacking still at this point.
Hello. How are you today? How you doing?
I actually love seeing those pack horses come through. It was one of the things I saw on YouTube that I really wanted to see myself. It was pretty awesome.
Hi. How you doing? Cool. Campsite number 3, night 3. I'm at the junction, or just before the junction for Mount Whitney. I'm the only one here. Just fine. So here's Whitney Creek down here, and I'm going to go check it out.
That was the night I spent. I started to really feel comfortable and really start to take in my surroundings. I absolutely loved it. Got up the next morning and I was headed out again, and just every day I was feeling more and more confident.
Onward to Bighorn Sheep. Look at that peak right there, and if you go right to the left of it. Whew, I just climbed up to 11,300 feet. This is my reward. Top of Bighorn Sheep Plateau. Oh my God, most beautiful place I've ever been in my life. Well, I started my trip to up Forester Pass. Got out of camp today at 7:36. I got about 4.5 miles to the summit. I'm gonna take it as slow as possible and get over this sucker. How you doing? Here we are resting before the big, scary, terrifying pass that we're all gonna die on. So what's your name?
Jessica.
Jessica, where are you from, Jessica?
From San Bernardino.
Oh, he's California.
I'm Josh, also from San Bernardino.
How you doing, Josh?
Good, how you doing? I'm Lee from Phoenix.
Lee from Phoenix, Arizona. Well, I got about a half a mile to go to get up there. This is the path. It's pretty steep, pretty narrow. I'm out of breath because I'm about close to 13,000 feet.
Well, I made it up over Forester Pass. Those guys were waiting for me up there, but it wasn't as hard as I thought, and just my confidence level at this point got really, really sky high, and everything from here on was just pure cake. I absolutely love it, love it, love it, and I think now we're on our way to Kearsarge Lakes, if I'm not mistaken.
It's been a rough day, but I did Forester Pass. I cannot believe it. So, this is the new valley I'm coming to.
Actually, my next campsite was Bubbs Creek, and it was a beauty.
Campsite number, what is this? I started on the 28th. It's campsite number 5 or 6. On a nice stream. I just took a towel bath. Onward, another beautiful day. I had a really beautiful campsite.
Leaving Bubbs Creek, we now headed to Bullfrog Lake and Kearsarge Lakes. The fishing here now just really started to kick up, and my friends ended up showing up there, and we're all gonna kind of hang together now for the remainder of this trip up until the very end.
Well, this is night number 6, I think. 7:45 a.m. Made it to the top of Kearsarge Pass. Get down to Onion Valley. It's about 4.7 miles.
After making it to the summit of Kearsarge Pass, we had to head down now and make our way to Onion Valley Trailhead, where the shuttle was going to pick us up. Well, the shuttle picked us all up and brought us down to Williamson's base camp, which we all spent the night and ended up having a great dinner and then getting a shuttle to Mammoth Lakes the next day, which broke down, but it did eventually get to Mammoth Lakes. We all spent the night there. We had a great dinner. We got motel rooms, got our resupplies, got our stuff together, and then headed out the next day to the infamous Red Meadows. At Red Meadows, that group had resupplied there, they had resupply waiting for them there, and then we were going to all head out and eventually get up to Thousand Island Lakes. We passed Devil's Postpile on the way and saw some wildlife on the way, and we kind of started hiking on our own, but this is where the fishing really took off. At this point, it was just lake after lake, fishing after fishing, trout after trout. It was amazing, absolutely amazing.
Here's Josh frying up some fresh catch tonight. Good morning. Around the lake now, and I'm sure I'm going to have to climb again.
Each lake was so beautiful. I can't tell you which one was better than the other, but Garnett Lake really stood out in my opinion. It was absolutely one of the best places I thought to fish, and that was just prior to coming to Thousand Island Lake.
Yeah, it's a nice fish.
Headed up to Garnett Lake, about 2 miles. Garnett Lake. How beautiful is that? Caught 4 fish there.
We eventually made it to Thousand Island Lakes. Those guys had been there before. They knew a good area there, but the fishing was great. We got a great campsite. We all had a really nice tent site there, and we spent the next 3 days just exploring this whole area, fishing, eating fish, just taking the whole scenery in. It was absolutely one of the most phenomenal places I've ever been. Actually came out late one night and saw the best view of the stars I have ever seen in my whole life. This place is beyond words, and I absolutely love it.
The trails were hard, but they were beautiful. More beautiful than I even expected. Well, I left the gang this morning about 7:30. It's 8:45 now. So cool. What a view. Hello. How you doing? I'm doing good.
As I left, Josh had said to me, "Hey Tom, don't forget to turn around and look back." And he meant that literally, but also profoundly it meant I'm looking back on this trip, and it was so great meeting those guys, fishing and doing these things that I did and may never do again. But hopefully I will be back there someday. Thank you to the John Muir Trail. Well, that was my favorite backpacking trip. And again, thanks a lot. Nicole hikes a lot. It was fun taking a walk through memory lane on that. So now, and no obligation to any of these folks, I'm going to choose 3 more YouTube channels to see if they want to do what was my favorite all-time backpacking trip. I'm going to start off with Jason Outdoors. He has a lot of good content. So Jason, if you're into this, fine. If not, you know, that's fine too. And one of my tramily I'm going to tag right now, and that is Ice Bear Hikes. So I like to see what her favorite backpacking trip was of all times. And I'm going to go out on a limb right now, and this gentleman probably doesn't even know I exist, nor will he probably even do this. And I know he's gone on a lot of great trips, and I'd be real curious to find out which is his favorite backpacking trip, and that is Bryce Newbald. So Bryce, Ice Bear, And Jason Outdoors, you have been tagged. And like I said, if you don't want to do this, I understand. Sometimes these tags are just a pain in the neck, but since we're all sitting around home anyway, give us something to do and give it a chance to go back through some of your old movies and walk down memory lane. So again, folks, thanks for following Walker's World, and we'll see you out in the trail hopefully real soon. Bye-bye.